that parenting is probably one of the most challenging as well as most fulfilling things a human being can do in his life is a platitude too often repeated and too rarely reflected upon. In our country, on top of everything else, it is assumed that parenting needs no training, no advice. There are no skills to be learned. People automatically become qualified to be parents as soon as children are born to them. And society assumes, most of us assume for ourselves, for our own convenience, that as long as something disastrous doesn't happen to our children, they don't run away from school, they don't murder somebody, they don't get waylaid and kidnapped or molested on the street, they don't get drunk and disorderly at parties, they don't steal their parents' money and things like that. As long as they are quote unquote normal, the parents must be doing okay. And yet, I, who have been a father for almost 20 years and a teacher for almost 35, know only too well, having dealt with thousands upon thousands of young people all my life, since I was a teenager myself, I know how many young people feel lost and disoriented and confused and unhappy and angry and confined and stifled and simply desperate to find a way to know what they have been born for, to make a life worth living for myself. And there's nobody, least of all parents, who can be of any real help, of any real use to them. We teach them history and geography and physics and chemistry and biology and mathematics. We even teach them languages and a smattering of what some schools very foolishly call moral science. But the result is so many more confused, distracted, aimless young people. And that's how they grow into adulthood. And imagine for yourselves what kind of adults they become, what kind of parents, teachers, politicians, journalists, doctors, writers, lawyers, engineers they become in their turn. My whole life's experience has convinced me that it's education or the lack of it, or a bad education, which lies at the root of all the social malaise that we see around us. I have tried in my own way, both as a teacher and as a parent, and I flatter myself that I have been a fairly above average teacher and a fairly good parent. I've tried all my life and to a large extent succeeded in making a lot of young people not only happy to learn, but also better focused, better oriented, better motivated in life than they might otherwise have been. That includes my own daughter. It has been a long-term dream with me that I could spread my work wider. And now that the internet and so many other electronic facilities have made things a little more possible, this is what we are trying to do. And in this, parents can be of very great help, very great assistance to me by sending their children to us, so that we can give them that better orientation, which will help them to live their lives more healthily, more fruitfully, more safely, and at the same time more enjoyably than it might have otherwise been possible. So that's what Suvro's Institute is all about. And I'm hoping that we'll be able to rope in a lot of parents, because first we need to convince the parents that they have a big role to play and what exactly they should do in order to be better parents. We are not trying to take away their children from them. We are trying to help them to become better fathers and mothers so that eventually they might not need us at all. It has been very well said that a good teacher is one who makes himself progressively unnecessary. So in that sense, even if we call what we are doing a kind of business, it's a kind of business that aims to ultimately run itself out of business. In the sense that enough people will have been made more aware, more conscious of their rights, duties, responsibilities and targets as parents, they can do the job themselves without any kind of external aid. But right now, as things stand, all you need to do is to glance at the TV news or flip through the newspaper to see how utterly vital it is for parents to be better directed at doing what they need to do in order to give their children a prospect for a better life.